Welcome to my very first how-to video. A few friends of mine have tried the free hour preview of Ark on the Xbox but didn't get the urge to buy it. Now obviously not everyone likes the same games, but Ark is so amazing, so different, I felt I had to ask them why. The most common answers they gave me were I kept dying so it put me off, or I didn't understand what I was supposed to do. I thought it might be helpful to make a few videos showing how to play and what controls do what, as there is no in-game tutorial. Hopefully, if I explain it well enough, I might be able to tempt them into buying the game and finally having someone else to play it with. In the videos I will be recording the PC version of the game, but I will also be referring to the Xbox controls as well. Today I'm going to cover the very basics: movement, gathering, eating, drinking, etc. But please bear in mind you will probably die, and probably quite frequently early on, but don't give up, it gets easier as you progress. So, let's get started. When you first start the game, you will be taken to the Survivor customization screen. I've already made my Survivor to try and save a little bit of time, but I did want to show you it briefly to explain the spawn regions. When you first start the game, you will be given a choice of where you first spawn. My advice is to go for one of the South Zone areas. There are 3 of them. I'm choosing 2, which will put me approximately in this area here of the map. There are 4 different zones, each having 3 to them: north, south, west and east. North is for people that like to live very dangerously. That is the hardest area of the map, the north of the area up here. West and east, if you've already played it and you don't want to find it too easy, pick one of those. But for beginners, definitely South Zone 1, 2 or 3. As I say, I've picked South Zone 2, which will be approximately here. So go ahead and create new Survivor. Well, just to prove to you that you should expect to die frequently in the early throes of this game, I just loaded South Zone 2, which is supposedly one of the easier areas, and as I was spawning in a Sarco, which is a crocodile, I actually spawned on top of it. So instant death. My character hadn't even loaded before I was killed. But as I say, don't give up. It does get easier as you progress, I promise. Okay. So I've let the graphics load on my PC, which took approximately about 3 minutes, and in just waiting on the beach I have got my first level up, which I will explain in a moment or two. As I said previously, I've chosen to spawn in South Zone 2, South Zone being the easiest sections of the map for beginners. So basic movements. On the PC, forwards and backwards is W and S. On the Xbox, it's up and down on the left joystick. Left and right is A and D on the PC, and left and right on the left joystick on the Xbox. The first things you want to do on a survival game is learn your surroundings, so you need to look around. On the PC you simply move your mouse left and right and forwards and backwards to go up and down. On the Xbox it's the right joystick. So once you've had a look around and you've got your bearings, what do you need to do to survive? Well, look around at the scenery and what do you have? We have trees, we have a few stones on the beach, there's a dinosaur over there, there's a trike, which is of no threat to us. And joy upon joys, now it is night time, so I'm just going to change the gamma on here so that you guys can see once it gets dark. A little bit of a cheat, I know, but so as the night sets in, we can still see what we're doing. So looking around the beach, there's a stone. I'm sure stone is going to be very useful. So to pick up items or to gather, it is the E key on the PC and the Y button on the Xbox. So there it says I've added 2 stone. So I'll go ahead and I'll pick up some more stone. Here we have a plant, fern, and from these you can collect 2 things: fibre and berries. So go ahead and click the E button on the PC, Y on the Xbox, and it can see it's letting me have fibre and some very odd looking words, which are all berries. So let's get a few of those going. The next thing you'll probably need in order to make tools is wood. As you can see, we have plenty of that around, but how do we get it? So if you walk up to a tree or a stump like this and you try and gather from it, apart from the stone that's at the bottom of the tree, it says hit this to harvest resources. But how do we hit? There's nothing to tell us how to hit. So on the Xbox it's the right trigger. On the PC it's the left click on the mouse. Now if there's nothing in front of you, you'll just punch. So let's punch this tree and see what happens. Added 3 thatch. Added 1 wood. So as you can see, from trees we get thatch and wood. All very useful, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and collect a bit more of that. So how do we know how much we've actually got by the time we've chopped down or punched down 2 tree stumps and picked up some stone? The next thing you need to know is how to open your inventory to see what you have. Now on the PC you can find the controls on the options screen. Now I've actually changed my inventory one. I think it was set to I before, and other people's inventories was set to F. So I've actually changed that. So other people's inventories is now I, and it's my mouse button on my mouse. I've got some side thumb buttons. I just click that and it'll open my inventory. So go ahead on the PC and click whatever button is relevant to you, and on the Xbox it's B. Inside, I do apologise, very bright because I have the gamma settings up as it's night time. There are a few differences with the PC versus the Xbox. On the PC you are given a saddle, a hat skin and some dino glasses skin. I will explain those later. On the Xbox you don't get them. So far I've managed to pick up 20 stone, I've gathered 24 fibre, 2 stim berries, 7 azul berries, tinto berries 2, amma berries 4, narco berries 2, wood 10, thatch 41. That didn't take me long at all to do. So now we want to know how to use what we've picked up. As you can see here, we've got 1 to 0 on the PC. It works slightly different on the Xbox. You have a little hot bar down the bottom of your screen. The first 4 are the directional pad on the Xbox. 5 is A, I believe, 6 is B, 7 is... Actually, I'm not quite sure. I think it's A, Y. Anyway, you'll be able to see it on the screen what does what, and apologies for not checking that before I started this video. So I want to be able to access these things easily. Now berries, you can eat berries, which is very handy. So I'm going to drag those into the hotbar so that I can get to them easily. So to come out of your inventory, again on the Xbox it's B, and it's actually E on the PC. Ooh, twin pterodons. I do apologise in advance for not knowing the official name for some of the dinosaurs on here. I just give them nicknames so I know what I'm talking about, but we'll worry about that at a later date. So I have now, you can see at the bottom of my screen, 1 to 0, and again on the Xbox it will show you a symbol of which box, which key you have to press, which button on the controller to press in order to access it quickly. So I've just got some berries that I've just gathered, and if you... no, wrong one. If I just do E, any of those berries that I gather, it will adjust the number in the hotbar. Of course I'm not gathering any that it will. So we've gathered a few resources, but what to do with them? Well, firstly, we need to know how to eat. So by pressing the number 3, 4 and 5, I can eat the berries in my hotbar. On the Xbox, you simply press the ones that you have allocated it to. Alternatively, in your inventory, you can click on them and it says use item. So just go ahead and click that and you will eat one of those berries. Going into your inventory does take time and you cannot see what's going on around you. So when you do have food, I do suggest putting it in your hotbar so that you can eat on the run if you have to. On the right hand side in the bottom corner, you can see a series of icons. At the moment, the arrow at the top is flashing, which is indicating to me that I can level up. Underneath that is a ton weight symbol, or a handbag, as I sometimes call it. A teardrop, the one underneath that you can probably not see too clearly, is actually a ham, and underneath that lightning, and then a plus sign at the bottom. The ham is what we're going to concentrate on at this moment. That indicates how hungry we are. So we are at half hunger at the moment. So I want to top that up. So I'm going to go ahead, press 3, 4 and 5 to eat the berries and bring that up. Eating is a very important part of the game. Otherwise you will starve to death, as some of my friends have done. So when we've run out of berries, you simply go to the nearest bush, do your I or Y key depending on which platform you're playing on, and gather some more. Did I say I and Y? I meant E and Y. It's not a very good tutorial, is it? Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've collected some more berries. Now berries aren't the best source of food on the island. Meat is. Berries, you will need to eat a lot of them, so you're going to have to gather a lot from berries in order to sustain you for any length of time. Okay, so the next thing we want, we've got food, we know how to eat. The next thing we want is either tools or clothing. So if we go ahead and open up the inventory again, here we have the inventory items tab highlighted. If we go to craftables, by just clicking on it on the PC, and on the Xbox you do the left bumper, or again you can just click on the word craftables. In here I have a weapons folder. Now by default on the Xbox I believe it will appear like that, which is fine when you've only got a few things that you're capable of crafting, but as you progress through the game it becomes extremely tedious going through a great big long list of possible craftables. So go ahead and take the tick out of show all, and it will categorize them, making them easier to find. So at the moment we can craft weapons. Here we have the ability to make a pickaxe straight away. We haven't had to learn that, it was given to us, and a torch. Now I am not going to bother with the torch because I'm on the PC. I can alter the gamma, enabling us to see what we're doing without the aid of torchlight. Bit of a cheat, but it's a bonus to the PC playing. So what do we need to make a pickaxe? 1 stone, 1 wood, 10 thatch. Now if we click on it once, it will highlight some options down the bottom here. It says craft item, craft all 4, or drop all items. Well, we don't want to drop all items. This one very rarely do. So I only want 1 pickaxe, I don't want 4 of them. So you can go ahead and just click that button there. Or you can double click this one on the PC, or double tap A on the Xbox. It takes a second or two to craft it. If you go back to your inventory items, you'll see it at the bottom of your inventory there. Again, this is something we're going to use very frequently, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in item in slot 1 on the PC, and I usually have it on the left, the far left, on the Xbox as well. Just come out of that. So now if I press 1, or whichever key you've assigned it to on the Xbox, I now have a pickaxe in my hand. Now a pickaxe is classed as a weapon, So you can use it to defend yourself in the beginning of the game. So let's try it on some stone, see what we get. Added 2 stone, 1 flint, 2 flint. So you get a combination of flint and stone using the pickaxe. As you progress through the game, you can use an axe on stone, which gives you more stone than flint, whereas the pickaxe gives you more flint than stone. But as we only have a pickaxe, let's go ahead and bosh that. So now when we go into our inventory, we can see we have 33 stone, 13 flint. Now we couldn't gather flint without the pickaxe. So what else can we learn? When you level up, you get the chance of engrams. At the moment I haven't leveled up. So I have all these options here flashing away at me saying, level up, level up. So your base stats, everything's set at 100% apart from Topor, which you can't alter in the game at all. So for the first upgrade, I think I'm going to go for weight to enable me to carry more. As we level up, you can see I got 8 points from that first one. I'll do it again. Another 8 points, giving me 16. And again. When you've leveled up all the possible levels that you've gained so far in the game, you're faced with the engram points 24, the engrams screen. What would you choose? So I'm going to go ahead and learn the stone hatchet. Click that and click learn engram. Or you can go ahead and double click it on the PC or double tap A on the Xbox. So stone hatchet's always my first choice, followed by a spear. Then we're going to need some clothes. So here we have cloth pants, cloth shirt, down here are cloth gloves, boots and a hat. Now I have 3 points left. I personally find that a campfire is the next most useful thing. So now when we look in our inventory craftables, it says I can create a spear, a hatchet, a pick and a torch still. I'm going to go ahead and learn the hatchet first. I only want 1, not 3. And I'd like some spears. It's telling me I can only craft 1. Let's go ahead and craft that. Excuse my dog. I usually like to carry at least 3 spears. I need 8 more wood to make another one. So go ahead and get some wood. You can use the pickaxe on a tree, but you get mainly thatch. We actually want wood, so I'm going to go ahead and put my stone hatchet in my hotbar on the number 2. When using an axe, you still get thatch, but wood is its primary gathering. So 53 wood, not bad. I do have the resources, harvesting resources option set to its highest to make life a little bit easier making these videos. Let's go back into craftables. I click spear. Now I can make 5. So let's make 5. So we have the ability to harvest flint and stone, thatch and wood, berries and fibre. So what is the fibre used for? Well, let's go back into our inventory, go to craftables, go back to the main menu of it, armour. So in here we have the ability to craft the engrams that we learnt previously. I can immediately make a hat, so let's make a hat. And what do I need for the rest of it? Hide and fibre, fibre, and fibre. Now in order to get hide you have to kill something, but we can go ahead and gather some fibre to make the shirt and trousers. Now when you have something in your hand and you don't want something in your hand, on the PC you press Q. On the Xbox it's left bumper and up on the directional D-pad. Let's go ahead and gather as much fibre as we can. I think it was 50 for the shirt. It's always handy while you're gathering to be aware of your surroundings still, as anything can creep up on you. We've been extremely lucky so far not to have had anything attack us just yet. Let's check how much fibre we've got. Go into craftables. We've made the hat already. We can now make the shirt, so double click that, or double A on the Xbox, and we've crafted the shirt. We need 50 fibre for the pants. We already have 38, so a couple more bushes and we should have that. And there we have enough for the trousers. If we go back into our inventory, here's the hat that we made. You can double A on the Xbox and it will go straight into your equipped items area, and double click on the PC and there we have an almost fully kitted survivor. Now most clothes have an armour rating. Cloth is the easiest to make, so therefore has the least durability, and if you highlight it you can see there the armour is 10, max durability is 25. Hypothermic and hyperthermic, the ability to keep out the hot and the cold, I don't worry about too much because basically I don't understand it, but I will look into that later on. So again we've got another level up just from making these clothes. Again I'm going to pump weight, and now we can make the campfire that it said we hadn't made, and we have. Okay, I'm not going to learn anything else at the moment. I'm going to let my engram points mount up for a little while. So we made some spears. I'm going to go ahead and rejig my hotbar so that I can have my spears in the slot that I want them. And now we're ready for some hide action. In order to use a weapon, the primary fire button on the PC is the left mouse button, and on the Xbox it's the right trigger. I've got enable crosshair set in my server settings so that I can actually see what I'm hitting. I think I've covered the basic survival skills. We now know how to eat, how to make the basic tools, and how to make clothing, or armour as they call it. The one thing that we haven't covered, and I'll cover now before I finish, is how to drink. So all over the map there are rivers, oceans, they're all fresh water, which is very great. You just walk out into the water and you press the E button on the PC or the Y button on the Xbox. And if you notice on the right hand side, my teardrop is full. So I have had plenty to drink today. So thank you very much for tuning in on this basic tutorial on how to craft the very basics. I do plan to do some more. I do hope I will get better at it, and the end result I hopefully will convince my friends to come and play Ark with me. Until then, goodbye!